Welcome everyone, today we'll have another gold making video. As you can see in the recording behind me, just by reaching tier 3, I have been selling and I was able to sell a lot of items. So within a span of a few minutes, my gold went from 14,000 to about 28,000. So yeah, I just want to show you guys because I was doing the first time I was doing basically the chaos gate, and quickly I went to 24,000, and before you know it, within like 30 minutes my gold was 28,000. So this method definitely works, and I'll share with you guys the details, and also I include a new method for tier 1 and also tier 2 to make more gold. Now coming over to our notes, not only do we have new notes on the tier 3 farming guide with making about 20 to 30,000 gold in about 1 to 2 days. I'll talk about this. There's the diminishing return. I also made the Excel guide I was telling you guys about. Which one to farm, what is the efficiency, how much gold do you make per hour, and how do you time this. I also have a comparison, so we'll use the Excel guide in this particular video as well. I'll tell you guys about it. I'll briefly talk about my ideas and understanding of this method and how does it work and what are my concepts and how to compare things. So there's a bit of brain work into it, but I'll try to make this one as easy as possible so it is very easy to use and easy to understand for you guys to make gold at tier 3. Now for those friends who are tier 1 and tier 2, don't be worried, we also have additional ways to make more gold at those levels. So there's a lot of tradable books we have found. I've found more tradable books, and I want to remind you guys some of the tradable books, including 5 more books on the Anguished Island, and also 2 more books over here I've found in the Phantom Wing Island. So those books can be traded. And don't forget the 4 additional books at the tower, which can sell for 800 gold. So those are additional books I found. And also some reminders of doing the dailies, and also the concept of marketplace and trading, because this is a weekly reset. My next 1 or 2 video I'll focus on trading. I really want to show you guys how to make a ton of gold. So as you can see in game right now, I have about 2,400 gold. Well, there's 2 reasons. One of the reasons is I've got my master's tendency to the purple level, so I've been spending about 8,000 gold on this one. And also I've been heavily invested into Star Spread, and I've been selling them. So by the end of the next 2 days, I want to show you guys a marketing guide, which I can make about 30,000 gold from trading. So over here, our tier 3 farming method involving farming the chaos dungeon over here, and we'll be farming the level 1. This is the easiest access with 1100. The drops for the items are very similar, and this gives a lot of good deals. And what I want to do is I want to briefly talk about my concepts of what do you do with those items, whether you exchange them to sell or trade, and also additional benefits for farming the chaos dungeon at tier 3, which is massive value. You get about 1000 gold per hour just by doing this without the exchange, and if you exchange, you make another 3000 gold per hour. So let's come over to the tier 3 farming guide first, then we go over to the tier 1 and also tier 2 additional methods for more gold. As you guys have reached tier 3, and I'm sure you have seen my video about trading in the chaos exchange, this looks amazing initially because you'll get all the items, and all the items in the chaos exchange can be traded, can be sold on the marketplace. But on the second look, what's something most people miss is that each time you purchase an item, the exchange cost of this item will go up. The initial exchange for buying an Honor Lipstone, which sells for about 400 currently, so I'll show you guys the market price for it. So those items will go up in price. So let me just show you guys the market value for it. So currently the Honor Lipstone is selling for 420 now. I mean, try to sell mine at 440, so I'm a little greedy. So those items you exchange at the exchange can be sold. The first exchange is 100 shard, and the cost of shard will go up. And it is a little overwhelming to see all those tier 3 items, but which one should you exchange, and how do you make gold out of this? So in this guide, I'll use with the help of my Excel guide to show you guys how to make to 20 to 30,000 gold using this calculator, which one should you farm at what rate. Now because all the items in tier 3 shops are tradable, but with a catch of diminishing return, so the more time you spend on it, the less gold you'll get. So what I think is we can easily make about 20,000 gold a week, or we can make anywhere up to 30,000 gold if you spend more time on it. After 30,000 gold, I do think it gets harder. So initially you'll make anywhere from like 4,000 gold an hour to 3,000 gold an hour. Eventually I think we'll hit a cap maybe around 1,005 gold per hour. And that is still not bad. If you spend like 5 hours, you make close to 10,000 gold. Now let's start the tier 3 farming guide by using our Excel. So I want to go step by step of to tell you guys how to use Excel to compare. So what I mean by that is you want to manually type those in, because this is a very basic Excel. So basically I'll have the Excel available for you guys from Google Docs. You can download this one, and once you open this one, you want to look at the exchange cost. Currently the exchange cost for me for the Honor Lipstone is no longer 170, it's 270. So what you can do is come to the Excel, type in 270, and Excel should automatically tell you if you farmed Honor Lipstone, how much gold per hour would you earn given the market price. We know the market price went up by a little bit, so the market price currently is 420. You don't have to update the market price all the time, and you don't have to update the cost every time you exchange. But this way it tells you the best item to exchange. So for example, you notice this is cost 200, so the 200 for the Great Honor and 500 for the Honor Pouch. And we'll be comparing the market price. I have just updated the market price before this video. I'll give you guys an example. We'll use the Solar Grace as example. For example, if I want to update the price for Solar Grace, what I do is I come to the item section over here and I'll look for Solar Grace. Currently the lowest price is 175, and you can see, yeah, you can definitely sell at 175. So what you can do is you can rechange the price to 175, and I know it will cost me 550 shards to exchange for one of those Solar Grace, which sells for 175. And the Excel calculator will tell you here the multiplier of gold per shard. So how much gold would you get per shard? And right away you can notice that two of the the good trade will be the red weapon stones currently for me, and this will earn me about 4,500 gold if I keep farming at this rate. But the rate changes, remember? So this is more of a menu dynamic Excel, which helps you to know which one's the worth value to exchange. So over here I've stored up about 3,000 of those shards, and I want to show you step by step how I exchange them. So over here I'll be buying 10 of the destruction stones, which sells for 200 gold. After buying that, the price goes to 90, right? So 90 per exchange. So we can quickly come back, update this one to 90. And of course, the value is still good, but the value dramatically decreases from 4,000 gold to 3,000 gold. But it's still the best value out of all of them. We'll still go exchange this. So we'll exchange this again. And now the value is 120. So basically you can exchange a few times. You don't have to update this all the time. My goal is to get everything to about 1,500 or 900, then I stop farming. And I can exchange this a few more times. So let's try this once, twice. So let's go to 170. So once it's 170, let's have a look at the value. Basically, the dynamic Excel would divide how much gold you earn per shard. And because the cost goes up, you want to use this one constantly to make the best exchange. So it's 1,600 in terms of gold value. So notice now the blue armor stone is actually more appealing. So what I do over here is I'll go to the guardian stones. I'll buy one, I'll buy two. And this is 120 now. Basically I'll update this one. So this is more menu because I didn't make a complicated Excel. This is a very basic Excel. So here it's 1,200. So my goal is to eventually get everything to be equal. Now the Honor Lipstone and also Great Honor Lipstone are still over 2,000, and so is the Solar Protection. So what I can do is let's come over to the Honor Lipstone. So let's get one of this. So now it's 300. You don't have to change this all the time. I'm just trying to show you guys this is actually not bad to do this way. And this will help you to guide which one to exchange. But do make sure that those are sellable on the market, because sometimes the price is a little inflated and the price will change. So make sure you double check your market price and input the values. So what you want to do is you want to constantly update your exchange cost, because each time you exchange, you will have different values. Notice this is 240 now, and I'll come back here to change it to 240. Notice the income of those will go down. And what I tend to do is I get a bunch of shards and I spend about 5 to 10 minutes finding the best value for each. And once my goal is once everything is about 900 in terms of gold per hour, I will stop farming on this one. And I think I should earn anywhere from 20,000 gold to 30,000 gold by doing this. Now I know that is a little complicated, right? So let me try to give you guys a recap. So basically, once you're tier 3, you can come to the Chaos Dungeon, farm the first level. Each time you farm them, you get about 140 of those shards. And those shards can be exchanged for items which are tradable. And for example, all the items I got here are tradable, I exchanged. But the catch is, each time you exchange them, the cost will go up. And it's hard to tell which is the best exchange after a while. That's why I made Excel over here to help you guys to guide you. So you can input the market price over here because you can sell them. And then you input the change of the cost of prices. So notice each time I went to exchange, I change the cost of prices. You don't have to change the market price all the time. You can change this once a day. You should change this after 1 to 2 purchases because the price will change. What you want to do is you want the higher value over here, or you want the higher gold income. The higher the gold income, the better it is. And in order to earn about 20 to 30,000 gold using this method, you do want to aim for at least maybe about 900 gold per income. We do want to get everything as low as 900 gold per income. And this still is not bad because not only you earn 900 gold, we also earn additional gold by doing the materials over here. So it's 900 plus 1000. Even at lower level, we can still make about 2000 gold per hour. And that is massively better than what I can get from tier 2. Now just for some other indicators over here, I have estimated my time per run is about 6 minutes, and I estimate I get a 130 shard. You might get a little more shard this way as well. So those are not very important. So this is basically me trying to estimate. I'm using a lower estimate. You might have a high estimate. You might earn up to 140, 160 shard per run, and you might spend less time. And finally, just this indicator, this is me comparing how much gold do I get if I spend 1 hour on my alt account. I only get 780 gold if I spend an hour on it. So all the gold over here is actually better to farm on my Meng account with a tier 3 dungeon compared to using my alt account. Now coming back to my notes, I'll briefly talk about my ideas of selling those items or keeping them, because using the calculator, you'll find the best value for trade and you can decide to sell them or keep them. So if you were to keep them, we're hoping for the market to go up, or if you want to use them. But if you're selling them, we'll talk about this briefly. And also about the additional value I talk about over here, how does this work, and how can you trade the untradeable ones by farming and trading the ones that you can trade from those 3 sources. Next, I want to talk about my thoughts about selling or keeping those materials, because we know that this resets weekly. You can buy them and keep them, you can buy them and use them, or you can buy them and sell them. So the question is it worth it? And personally for me, I do think more and more players will hit to tier 3. And this will increase the supply of those materials. And then they're going to try to sell them, so the price will go down. But right now the price is pretty stable, and I think just for the leap stones they sell for about 400. After reset they go down a little bit to 380, and a few hours after reset they go up to 400. And those items also drops from the KS dungeon and also KS gate. So I do feel like the price have been falling steadily, so if we sell them early, we do make a little more gold before more players become tier 3. And because there's a ton of players who play the game when the global launch came, so 3 days behind the early access players, so they will be a little behind, and when they become tier 3, there will be an increased supply. So that's why I'm thinking of selling them first, and then later if I want them, I can buy them back. Now while farming the KS dungeon for tier 3, there is also additional benefit. Notice here I no longer have my daily entry, I'm still looting the guardian stones and also the destruction stones. And those items currently sell for quite a fortune. So you can see the price of those items are listed, so those items also drops in the KS dungeon. So what I want to say is by farming with this method you also get additional loots. And although those loots are not tradable, this can easily give us over 1000 gold in terms of materials, which is not tradable but usable by yourself. So what I mean by that is you saw in the video that you get untradeable items just from the monsters, and those items actually sell for a lot per stack, and you get 1 or 2 stacks of those shards each run. And this, in value, just by running once, you get about 100 gold just by running one of the tier 3 dungeons, just by themselves, without trading, with the exchange. So this is actually really good. And there's also some other notable loots like the leap stones which drop randomly. So I have been farming for about 3 hours today, and maybe 2 hours, not 3 hours. And I went from 113 leap stones to 125. So I gotten 13 leap stones. And that by itself is worth about 4,000 gold of value. So although they're not tradable, you can of course sell the tradable ones. So the tradable ones you can get is going to be from the KS dungeon, KS gate, and also guardian raid. And those can easily make us 5,000 gold just by doing this, by farming the KS dungeon after the 2 daily resets. Now coming over to the second part of the video, this is more targeted towards tier 1 and also tier 2 players who are aiming for progression into the next tier and eventually getting into tier 3, and then you can use this method above over here and also the Excel. So over here, if you have seen our previous videos, we have talked about a few things which I do recommend. So those are some of the videos I really do recommend. One of those videos is about farming over 40 tradable blue books, which currently sells for 180 to 200 gold each. After that, you can also find 5 more books on this particular video. We'll talk about this. And also I do recommend have a look at the video about making gold with the market and also the daily farm routes for each of your tiers. So tier 1 is a farming route, tier 2 is also a farming route. What I do want to share over here is I have found 2 additional books over here. And I also want to remind you guys to purchase the weekly books from the Atlas Island. So this is mentioned over here. So I won't go over this again. So this is actually mentioned over here with the books. So come over here to look at Atlas Island, which you can farm those weekly. So coming over to the Phantom Wing Island, this is an island that opens up at a certain time of the day. So this is the only difficult part of getting to this island, but the quest itself will take you less than 10 minutes. And by doing this quest, not only you get a lot of gold. So not only do you get 2 engraving boxes, which can sell for books, about 200 gold each, you also get 200 gold over here. And this quest itself will take about 10 minutes. So what I mean by that is, if you come into the game and you go over here and have a look at this. So one of those islands is the one I talk about. It is called the Phantom Wing Island. Maybe we'll have a look over here. Yeah, it's definitely one of those days. I think it's a little while. Adventure Island, Harmony Island. Maybe it's over here. So yeah, I randomly stumbled on it randomly. I was like, hey, that's pretty good. Maybe this one. No, it doesn't even have, it doesn't have violence. Phantom Wing. Yeah, there you go. So it is this island, and on this island, if you do the quest, you can get about 600 gold worth of items in about 10 minutes. You can also do the boss as well over here. It's only level 250. Now, if you have seen our latest discovery of the Anguish Island, so this island is, I do believe, which video is this one? So this island was talked about on this particular video. This is when you exchange a lot of items, including 5 of those blue books and also some of the purple books, which you can sell for about 1,300 gold. So those books are available for purchase. I do believe you have to be item level 915 to buy them. But if you're at tier 2, if you're buying them, those are really good because, together they actually give a lot of value. I actually forgot about the purple ones. So you can get, basically on this island, you can get 2 times purple and you can get about 5 times blue, and those are the books you can purchase. Now keep in mind, in order to enter the dungeon you have to be tier 3, 1100 to enter, but because the NPC is outside, I believe maybe at tier 1 and tier 2 you guys can still buy those books. Those books are tradable, so if you're really short on gold, you can still get those books here and sell them for gold. So this is 5 blue. So let me show you guys the market price for those. So what I mean by that is, let's have a look at the blue books. So we'll go for tier 3, no, not tier 3, we'll go for the rarity. Overall ranks, purple books, what are the most expensive purple books we can buy? So the most expensive purple books other than Gradual and Awakening is going to be the Paladin book, sells for 1,350 gold. And you can get 2 of those books on this island. So that's about 2,600 gold worth of value if you plan to sell them. But if you don't plan to sell them, it's okay because those are really rare. But the blue book sells for quite a bit too. So if we come over here and go to blue section, the price actually fell a little bit. It was close to 200 before, now it's back to 174. So the blue books each sells for 174. You get 5 of those on that island as well. And also don't forget to check out the latest report guide for tier 2 and also tier 1 players, where you can get 1,900 and also 5,000 gold if you do this properly. So definitely check it out for additional gold for the tier 1 and also tier 2 players. And you can do this at tier 3 of course for additional gold. So this is a lot of gold for 30 minutes of running around. Now we have covered most of the methods of making gold in tier 1 and tier 2. Those include making out, different entries, even market trading. So I don't think I need to cover it too much. If you do want details, come over to this video, which I'll talk about in more details with a video guide. What I do want to talk about is actually farming your weekly Abyss dungeons. So for tier 1 player, you can make 200 to 600 gold. For tier 2 player, it's about 2,000 to 3,000 gold. Why is that? Let me show you guys over here. I'm sure you guys know the loot from the Abyss Dungeons. So basically, if you come over here, and you can see that the items that is dropped here, I can't farm them anymore because my item level is too high. So the tier 1 materials over here and also the tier 2 materials over here are really high in cost. So it's those two over here, the tailoring and also the metal items. So if you come over to the section of the marketplace, you can see that those items, even the cheapest one sells for 200 gold, the tier 1 weapon sells for 700 gold, the armor one sells for 2000 gold, and finally the weapon one sells for 3000 gold. So those prices are skyrocketing and they're inflating so much. So if you're looking for additional gold, if you haven't done your weekly Abyss dungeons, make sure you also do them at tier 1 and also tier 2 for more gold. Okay guys, that was a really long video. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a tier 3 farming guide, and then I felt bad because I was like, what if other friends are still in tier 1 and tier 2? So I wanted to make more video guides on those as well. So it became a double video. So it combines tier 3 and also tier 1 and tier 2. So it's a little all over the place, but what I really wanted to share is make sure you check out this Excel guide once you get to tier 3. Because this will help you so much in understanding what item to farm and what item to exchange in the Chaos Exchange. And by using this simple Excel, you do have to do it manually though. I didn't do it automatically because it doesn't pull data from the market. So do it manually, and this is actually pretty nice. It's because you can see how much gold you make per hour, and you can see what you're looking at. And depending on the amount of time you want to spend on it, you can easily make 10,000 or 20,000 gold at tier 3 within 3 hours. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you do so, because we'll be getting a lot of guides, a lot of tips as I discover them, and I love the game. So I want to share as much as I can with you guys, and let's have a great time in Lost Ark as we explore this game and get the most out of it.